Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Steehn versus the Machine. Are we waving whenever we do our names now? Is that it?
I was saying, yeah, me and you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's just interesting to see you. I was like, oh, I guess I'm the Machine. You are the Steehn. Yes. Sorry. But welcome everybody back to another episode of Steehn versus Machine. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Truman Steehnmachine Steehn, and as always, I'm joined by the lead handicapper over there at Winners and Winers, Scott the Steamroller Steehn. How's it going, Scott?
It's going well. It's just, what a coincidence that we have the same last name. That's just weird.
Really convenient, makes it really easy to remember it. Again, the roller versus the machine, I don't...
That's right.
That is not a comment on either of our body types. They're basically the same.
Yeah. You get to look into your future every Friday, don't you?
Yeah, especially it was funny. It really sucks we didn't film last week. I had more facial hair than you did for maybe the first time ever, because you've been doing the fresh shaven and I had the mustache. But we'll see. I'm going to try to keep it through November. I might try to do the facial hair. We'll see.
What happened to the stash?
Shaved it after Halloween. I grew it out for Halloween and then I shaved it and then I restarted for No Shave November. We'll see if I keep it up or not. I can't decide.
What was your costume?
It was Chick Hicks from the hit movies Cars from the Pixar studio. I know you're a big fan of Cars.
I have seen Cars.
Yeah, but you remember Chick Hicks?
No, that's not Larry the Cable Guy. That's Mater, right?
That's Mater. Yeah, Chick Hicks is the green guy. He's kind of the villain. He's really the only villain in the movie, to be honest, besides Lightning McQueen's ego and himself. But I was Chick Hicks because I thought it'd be funny. It's a tertiary character in Cars, so that'd be pretty funny. You like that word? That's a $10 word right there.
You know what it means?
It's like the third ring.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call him a side. He's really, he's maybe a secondary character. Maybe he's not quite a tertiary, but he's close.
Oh, last week you said thirdary, so I am impressed with your improvement.
Yes, I'm getting a little better. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
All right, Scott. Let's take a look at we'll do 2 weeks ago, and then we'll do last week. Scott, 2 weeks ago. I know it's been a bit. I owned you a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went 4-1 last week. 2 weeks ago. I had the Lions plus 6.5. That was the only one to lose. I believe they lost. It was like 24-6 against Dallas. And then I had the Indianapolis, Tennessee under 42. That came in. I had the Jets, Denver under 38. That came in. The Seahawks plus 5.5. They won outright. And I had the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers over 48.5. That also cashed for a nice little 4-1 right there. You did not have as much luck. You had the Patriots minus 7.5 on Monday night there. I think that was maybe the most shocking game of the week. As far
as the final score goes, they were just never really in it.
Right, yeah. 2 really back-to-back shocking Monday night games with the Bears blowing out the Patriots and then the Browns blowing out the Bengals. Both not how you thought either of those games would go. But so yeah, you had Patriots minus 7.5. You had the Falcons plus 6.5. That did not cash. They got pretty well handled by the Bengals that 2 weeks ago. Ravens minus 6.5. They lost to they beat the Browns. Did not cover. Only beat them by 3. Right. Yeah, the Bucks minus 13. I guess that's your other run for most unlikely. Although what we've seen from the Bucks in the next week, where they also lost to the Ravens, it becomes less shocking. Where you're like, okay, maybe the Bucks just aren't good, which is a weird fact that we have to admit.
Losing outright to Carolina, never being in the game, was pretty shocking.
Yeah, being favored by 13 to lose by 18 is 31-point swing, pretty large, I will say.
Won't say many of those.
Yeah. But you did have the Jets money line. That cashed at plus 100. So, yeah, beat a terrible Broncos team. Oh, man, you're going to make me yawn. We're recording too late into the night, I guess. Okay. All right, so that recaps. So I went 4-1. You went 1-4. Wow, that's a big swing. I needed that too. I was down on you, and now I was back. I'm now back up on you. Last week, we both went 3-2. I didn't write down the odds, so I basically gave us all plus or minus 110, so we were both plus 80. Chicago Dallas under 42.5. That was a terrible bet. Wow, that was really awful. Really, really bad of me to do. Tennessee Houston under 40.5. That cashed. New England Jets under 40.5. That cashed. Philadelphia minus 10.5. That cashed. And both of us took Buffalo minus 10.5. Oh, they break our hearts. Up 17, basically up at least 11 that whole game until the end. And Rodgers decides to throw a touchdown with, was it 6 minutes left or whatever?
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I was 3-0 on the early games. I thought I was going to, have the great week, and then shit the bed on Sunday and Monday night.
Yeah, because you had Denver Jacksonville under 39.5. That one obviously cashed. That was it's another UK game. We really are not exporting our best football to Britain, and I think that's still making up for the Revolutionary War. The Dolphins.
Funny you would say that, because we did a sketch about this week about seeing the Museum of American Football that's come to London.
Hey, there you go. Shout out. Oh my
Blake
God.
Bortles Hall of Fame and things like that. So
That's very funny.
yeah,
okay.
it is.
Sorry, Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas, the rise of the greatest sports betting show in the world.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
Ooh, yes. Shout out.
Congratulations. You're now ahead of my partner, who remembers it about 1 out of 3 times.
Yeah, that's funny. But that goes along with the bit for sure. You all said the Titans -2. They beat the Texans by 7 in a terrible game. That AFC South is just terrible. We already talked about your Bills -10.5, but you also said the Bengals -3. Again, just a shocking Monday night game.
Yeah.
Well, I think you realize how much of that offense is Jamar Chase. Last year, I had a lot
ridiculous.
I had a lot of Bengals fans in my mentions on Twitter. I told them both times they beat the Chiefs, I said, this is a Bengals team that I feel is just getting bailed out by. It's Joe Burrow, I believe, is a fine quarterback, but I just don't think he's incredible, and I think he gets bailed out by incredible wide receivers. I think he's probably got one of the best wide receiving stables in the league, and I just don't feel like he was, dotting passes, throwing incredible, and I just felt that a lot of times he threw it up, which is part of it, is throwing it up to where your guys can win. But, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, two probably the best winners of high point balls in the league, and you see the effects of not having Jamar Chase right there.
I had Higgins over 5.5 catches without Chase in the lineup there last week, and couldn't get it done, as they just crushed him. They couldn't. He was run for his life all night long. Was Burrow?
Yeah, just terrible. All right,
we each go 3-2.
Yeah. So for those last 2 weeks, I actually went 7-3. A great 2 weeks. Again, if you missed the picks last week, it's because you're not subscribed to the Patreon. Patreon.com/opendisaster. You get the picks. You get these picks early. You get the video on Saturday when we do record the video. We try to record a video every week. I think there's been 2 weeks, I think, that we haven't recorded a video.
And I think that's right. Well, we didn't do the first one, so I think there's been 2 since then, right?
Did we not do the first one? I thought we did the first week, didn't we?
We missed the first week. Anyway.
No, I have 8 weeks, 40 picks.
All right.
But yeah, patreon.com/opendisaster. It's $5 a month. You get 10 picks a week from both of us. And we were positive combined, the last 2 weeks. So, something to look forward to there. But yeah, I went plus
50 cents a pick.
Yeah, I went plus 364. I was 7-3. Brings my season total closer. I'm digging out of it, Scott. I'm 18-22 at -560. We're digging. We're close. We're getting there. We're almost within about a week's worth of a shot. So,
okay.
Scott, you do not have as much luck. 4-6 over the last 2 weeks, -247. Nets you down to -1010 for a 16-24 win-loss total for the season.
Brutal.
So yeah, but that shows how the swing was. So I was at 964 or 924, and you were at 80 or 8. Oh man, 760 or so. You're at 763, and I was at 8. So I was down 100, but now I'm up 500 over 2 weeks. How the turntables. So
Started at the bottom. Now you're here.
right. So now we are back to make up all the picks. Make up the more money. I will get us started. I am ahead. I won the last week. Winners or what? What is it? Make it, take it. I'll take it.
Yep.
All right. First pick of the week. Give me the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots under 40.5. Obviously, as we've kind of already talked about the last couple of weeks, this has been a well that I have been coming back to a fair amount. Both these teams on the under, and they have both been fairly successful for me. This is one of the unders that I love the most. It's actually my second favorite under of the week. But yeah, I love the Indianapolis, New England under 39.5. Just two terrible offenses. Two quarterbacks I don't really believe in, whether it's Zappy or Mac Jones, or whether it's Sam Ehlinger or Big Dick Nick Foles. I don't believe in either of these offenses. I don't believe in either of these quarterbacks. The Colts are seemingly kind of, I think, giving up a bit. They sold Nyheim Hines. The Patriots didn't add any important pieces. I think these offenses are bad, and I think they'll remain bad, and have two pretty good defenses. I think Colts defense is, very solid unit out there, and I think the New England, Belichick's always going to have a good team, always going to have a good defense. I have New England as a top 30 defense, and I have Indianapolis near right around the middle of the pack on defense. But again, two just terrible offenses.
You say it's a top 30 defense?
Sorry, a top 3 defense. Sorry, the way I do it, I rank them. The top team gets a score of 32, and then I pull it down. So I had New England's defense had a score of 30. So I was like top 30 defense, but it's top 3 defense. Sorry, that's my bad.
Yeah, I don't hate that. This is a Colts team that's scored over 20 just one time, and not surprisingly, they've seen the under go 7-1 so far this year. So
yeah.
And that was with a quarterback that could throw the ball, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, give me that Indianapolis, New England under 40.5 at -107. Scott, on to your first pick of the week.
I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a fast learner. I'm going back to the Bills, playing 13 to the Jets. This Jets team, nice story early in the season, but Breece Hall was the man that really made that offense go. First game without Hall, Jets ran for 51 yards on the ground. Buffalo, number 1 scoring defense, number 2 scoring offense. Hard to argue with. What could possibly go wrong? Bills -13.
Yeah, I gotta give it to you. Oh, and on the bright side, I did shop your line. Bills -11.5 is what you got it at.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Feel good there. Yeah, I had the Bills actually favored by, in my system, about 17.5. So I like your odds. I had them favored by more last week though. So who am I? Really? But a fool. I'm right there with you, ready to bet Buffalo again. All right, which brings me to my second pick of the week. Actually, the Vikings -3 against the Washington Commanders team. I had them favored as much by 11. I really don't understand why this line is so low. I love it. I'll appreciate it. I'll take it for sure. But I think it's hard to imagine that this Vikings team is not much better than this Commanders team. This is probably a top 5 team in the league in the Vikings, which feels weird to say. It's a weird topsy-turvy. You could put any two teams after. You could put any selection of 5 teams after the top 3 teams. There's a top 3 for sure. You take next 2, and a lot of times I put the Vikings in my top 5 there. In the bottom 5, I think you got to make a case for the Commanders. Probably 3 teams in the AFC South probably going in your bottom 5, but the Commanders did barely knock off one of those teams last week. But they're still just a terrible team. Not very good. Not a lot going on. Not a lot to be happy about. Give me the Vikings -3 on the road.
They beat the Packers, so.
Ooh.
Saying.
Also, probably a bottom 5 team. I don't, but probably a bottom 10 team. I mean, are we ready to say we've all finally accepted that the Bucks aren't good. Are we ready to accept that the Packers aren't good either?
Yeah, I mean, they continue to be overvalued in the market every week. So, I like this Vikings team. I picked them to win the NFC North, and that's looking really good right now. There has been Commanders money coming in. This opened up around 5, now down to 3. Commanders 4-4 on the season. They're not awful. I think they're a better team with Heineke. Um,
I
odds
also
makers are
believe
telling
that.
you odds makers are telling you this is an even money game on a neutral field. Yeah, I don't buy that. I think the Vikings are a little bit better. So,
Well,
I don't hate that.
not an even money on a neutral field, right? Because the Vikings are the away team favored by 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm right there with you though.
Yep.
I do believe Heineke does make this team a lot better. I don't know how you can watch how they play with Carson Wentz versus how they play with Heineke and think you want to go back to Carson Wentz. I know you paid for Wentz. NFL teams are slow to admit their mistakes, and that's fair. But
Some cost.
I just think this team rallies around Heineke a lot better. I think they look a lot better. The offense looks better. Yeah.
All right. Hey, speaking of the Packers, take a spin with them this week as they go up and play the Lions in an NFC North battle. Play the over 50. This Lions defense is historically bad. Since 2000, only 2 teams have given up more than 32 points per game. One of them was the Lions. The other team was the Lions. That's right. They did it earlier in the decade, and they are on pace to do it again this season. One of these teams has lost 5 straight, and they're 1-4 against the number. Other teams lost 4 straight, and they're 1-4 against the number in that same period. I got to play the over right here. I think this is going to be a lot of going up and down the field. I think for one day, Rodgers finds his mojo again against this terrible Lions defense. Give me the over 50.
Yeah, you kind of hope this is Green Bay's kind of get right game for their offense. I mean, if there was ever a defense to do it against, it's a terrible, terrible Lions defense.
Yes.
The worst defense in the league by a lot of metrics, including my own. So I have to agree with you there. I think I'm not overly blown away by either of these offenses, but as much as I'm not blown away by these offenses, I'm really not blown away by these defenses. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm right
Agreed.
there. I'm right there with you with the over 49.5.
Well, DeAndre Swift is back, so that's a huge thing for that Lions offense. So,
Well,
yeah.
and just to get it out of the way, I also have the Green Bay Detroit over 49.5. You know, what is we are on the same side, which means that it will absolutely not cash. Uh, but yeah, I mean, you already worded it pretty well. I think I added a bit. Again, over 49.5. I don't think we need to waste more time on that.
Okay. All right. Very good. Swift was limited, so we'll see what happens there. All right. What do you got for your next pick?
Your next pick, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You just said that. Okay. NFC West. I'm going to play the Seahawks +2 against the Cardinals. This Seahawks team is kind of sneaky good. They can run the football. They didn't miss a beat when Penny went out, and they were able to just plug Walker in there, and he has been fantastic. They're third in the league in a rushing yards per carry. Cardinals' rush defense, not terrific, and they've been getting worse lately. They've given up more than 135 yards on the ground in 3 of their last 4. We talk about it every week. Geno Smith somehow still leads the league in completion percentage, and he's a top 5 rated quarterback in both QBR and traditional quarterback ratings. The Cardinals going nowhere fast, baby. I like the Seahawks in this spot.
I will tell you that the line is down to 1.5. I just gave you the Seahawks money line. Is that fine, or would you want the 1.5?
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, I got the Seahawks money line for you, plus 114. Scott, I'm right there with you. I believe this Vegas just I feel like they're gaslighting me. I don't know. Every week I feel like they rank the Cardinals a lot higher than they should be. This game opened at -4, and luckily the bettors are letting them know that is not correct. They've moved it down to 1.5. I don't see what people see in the Cardinals, and I see a lot more of what people see in the Seahawks. This is actually one of my certified picks. It didn't make it onto my top 5, but it is one of my certified picks for the week. just as the machine goes. I had the Seahawks favored by 8 in this game, and they came in as -1.5 and opened as -4. Wish I would have got it at a better price earlier in the week when that first opened. But live and let live. What are you gonna do? C'est la vie, as they say. So, brings me to my fourth pick of the week. Scott, I've got the Carolina Panthers and the Cincinnati Bengals under 42.5. That's a big half. I appreciate getting it at the under 42.5. We already talked about it somewhat. This is a bad Bengals offense without Jamar Chase. This Bengals offense is going to struggle, and the Bengals defense is really solid. I think, which is a great combination. I believe the Bengals offense, really great. Bengals defense going to shut down a pretty bad Carolina offense also. And Carolina's defense, not incredible, but again, just without Jamar Chase, for no pun intended, but the Bengals seem to have lost their teeth on offense. So,
nice.
You know what? I'll say it. Pun was intended. I reached it. It was a bit of a stretch, but I got there for sure. Give me the Carolina Panthers, Cincinnati Bengals under 42.5 at -107.
All right. Take a look at the game right down the road from us here as the Chiefs entertain the Titans on Sunday night. We got a couple plays from this game. We're going to start off with the Titans side. This is a Kansas City Chiefs defense. Look at the stats. You say, they're third in the league in rush yards allowed. Well, that's pretty good. Look a little closer. They're 18th in yards per carry. So teams can run against this team when they want to. And you know who wants to? Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry. If Malik Willis goes, that gives them another option there as far as running the football behind center. I just think that's too many points for this Chiefs team. I know they're very good coming off a bye, but I think that the Titans will keep this one within single digits. Give me the Titans plus 12.5.
Yeah, the thing that worries me there is that I do agree that this Chiefs defense is terrible against the run. But I think while some of it, if you look at it on a per game basis or the yards allowed basis, obviously a large part of the buoying of that is, I'm losing it. The Tampa Bay game where they only allowed 3 yards rushing or whatever it was against Leonard Fournette.
Right.
But I will say that this team, when they can dial in, when you do not have multiple facets of this game, I don't think they struggle as much against the run if there is no threat of the pass. And I think Malik Willis playing, which is trending towards, I saw Ryan Tannehill practice Wednesday, then didn't practice on Thursday. Never a good sign that a player is going to play on Sunday, is practicing then not practicing. If Malik Willis is in there, I worry about this team becoming too one-dimensional and the Chiefs just being able to stack the box. They don't have any threats on the outside. Robert Woods is, he's Robert Woods. He's not great. If Treylon Burks was healthy, playing, be a little more worried. But also, if Ryan Tannehill was playing, I'd be a little more worried. Ryan Tannehill was Alex Smith equivalent in a way that he kept you honest a little bit. If you did stack the box and left it open, he could hit a wide open guy, every now and again, just enough to keep you honest. So that's my only concern with the Titans is with Malik Willis going, this team becomes a lot more one-dimensional. And I think the Chiefs defense can key on the run, as we saw a great example of 2020. Well, the 2019 season, 2020 AFC Championship game where a lot of people were worried what Derrick Henry is going to do, and the Chiefs defense stepped up because they just weren't as worried about Ryan Tannehill. And I think Malik Willis is even worse of a passer than Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I think that's true, and Vrabel's really keeping the leash on him as far as throwing the football. So we'll see. What's your play there? What's your next play?
My final play of the day is actually the Rams Tampa Bay under 42.5. What is there to say? This is Matt Stafford's racing for the most interceptions in the NFL. I feel like somebody said Cooper Kupp was a little banged up. Tampa Bay's offense has looked terrible. That's a bad offense. Speaking of guys who are banged up, it feels like their wide receivers I feel like they're getting healthier. They're playing, and it's still not making a difference. This is a terrible two offenses that have really underwhelmed and kind of disappointed everybody, and two still pretty, pretty stellar, pretty solid defenses. I guess stellar maybe isn't the words I'm looking for there. But I have Tampa Bay defense as like a top 10 fringe candidate there, and I have the Los Angeles Rams is about league average. I think, but I think both these offenses are terrible. I mean, the Rams is a bottom 5 offense according to my sheet, and the Tampa Bay offense is almost a bottom 10 offense. They're the 11th worst offense and the 5th worst offense in the NFL according to my sheet. Defenses that can control them enough. Yeah, give me the Rams, the Bucks under a 42.5 at -107.
All right, yeah, that's the Tampa Bay's 25th in scoring. Rams are 28th. Man, who would have guessed that, huh?
It's weird. It's a weird season. Yeah, and it's nice to get both those unders at 42.5. Love getting that hook.
Yep, absolutely. Although I think that's going to be a battle of field goals. I think the possibility they score 6 touchdowns is probably pretty thin, but
that's probably fair.
Nice. Yeah. My final bet's going to be the Titans Chiefs over 45. This is a number that has plunged. It was 47.5, now down to 45. I'm going to take advantage of it. I think this is a Kansas City team that's going to have some wrinkles coming out of the bye. I think they're going to do fine with scoring the football. The problem is for the Titans, they're going to have to play catch up. They're going to have to open up the offense, and I think they're going to do that. So I've got this one probably somewhere in the neighborhood of how about 31-20? You like that?
See that? Yeah. The over for me, also certified pick. It's at it opened earlier and it's been pushed down, which is weird. All the way down to 44.5, which helps you.
There you go.
You had the over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just
and as you know, I do all these picks for the show that we do, and every pick you took agreed with what I had. So it didn't necessarily make my top 5, but you and I did not disagree on any picks.
Well, and I think every pick you made, I think I agreed with. So
what a kumbaya moment.
Wow, this is really a bad sign for both of us. Actually, I do have the Chiefs to cover, but I had the Chiefs minus 13.5, so it was pretty close. Yeah. We were pretty close on the Vegas line. But I had the over. I had Seahawks money line. I had the over. I had the Bills minus 11.5. Yeah, scary, which always worrisome. It means that bad things are on the horizon, right?
Did you see my shirt? Is this the weirdest shirt ever?
We are Marshall, but it's
none of the Marshall colors and none of their logos.
That's super weird.
It's Mom finding that on sale somewhere. That's
good for her. Yeah, I really got interesting.
You still buying your own clothes, buddy?
Yeah, for the most part.
All right.
I get a call. I get a call every now and again if there's a sale at Costco. There's a good sale. I get a call. Hey, they got flannels right here. Do you want to pick me up one? I was like, what colors do they got? And so it's me mostly buying my clothes, but she certainly keeps her eyes out for something that she might like. So
an orange and white Marshall shirt, for example.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, very odd. Scott, I do appreciate you taking the time out here again. Again, my picks: Indianapolis, New England under 40.5, Vikings -3, Green Bay, Detroit over, Carolina, Cincy under, Rams, Bucks under. You had the Bills minus 11.5, Green Bay, Detroit over, Seahawks money line, Titans plus 12.5, and the Titans, Kansas City over 44.5.
There you go.
All right, Scott, you got big plans this weekend?
No, I'm going to spend Saturday and Sunday like I always do, furiously writing the show.
Fair enough.
So that's what I pretty much do with my days.
Gonna sneak out to Raytown High School, go see the playoff matchup?
Are we bringing guns?
You could park in the old spot, stay in the parking lot, just look down on it. Raytown Ray South playoffs in the rain at Raytown High School. Kind of fun.
It sounds pleasant.
Yeah, it really sounds like a...
Are you going?
No, I'm going to be in Topeka.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
No. If I was in town, I would be going. If Tina's family wasn't in town to go to Topeka, or to go to Manhattan to go do stuff for the game this weekend, I would absolutely be making a push to go see it. I was thinking I drive by a high school on my way home all the time, and it's right there on the road, so I see them sometimes playing football. I'm like, man, I'd like to go see a high school football game.
Well,
And I looked up Raytown's game this week. It was against Ray South. I was like, oh my God, what a game that would have been to go to.
That'll likely be the highlight of Raytown's postseason.
I can only imagine. But they're playing down in 4A now, which is nice. They don't have to get slaughtered by Fort Osage anymore.
Oh, they beat the hell out of Raytown South in the first meeting, so we'll see how that goes.
Hopefully a repeat.
Yeah, if you were going, I would go because Mom's got to work, so
right.
I wouldn't have a car, but
I just
tuck you into picking me up.
Yeah. Well, Scott, I do appreciate you. Make sure to definitely give a look over there at YouTube, Winners and Winers.
Yeah.
Also, winnersandwiners.com.
Mm-hmm.
You're all over the place.
You'll find me in the expert section, so check that out.
Ooh, must be nice.
You can get my premium plays and everything like that. So definitely check it out. But we are pretty proud of our show. We have a lot of fun doing it. We're basically writing a sports related Saturday Night Live like every week. We're writing 6 or 7 sketches every week, and it's getting to be a grind. And I'm not gonna lie, we sat down and we came up with about 50, 60 ideas, and we've pretty much blown through them. So it's every week we have our meeting. Like, what do you want to do this week? I don't know. What about this? And so it's fun. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. So check it out over at the Winners and Wonders YouTube channel, and let me know what you think.
That's fair. You had a really big week 7. Week 8 did well. You got both 6,000 on week 8, 8,000 on week 7. Having some good weeks here.
Yeah, we're doing okay. So.
Definitely. So if anybody's
watching,
your friends,
share on social, all that stuff.
Right, you definitely want to be in on this before it hits 100,000 views next week, I assume.
Right.
Yeah,
and we're that close, man.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, definitely YouTube, Winners and Winers, winnerswiners.com. Just Google Scott Steehn. I assume it'll come up. Go to his Twitter, twitter.com/Steamroller. Is that it? Is that enough?
That's it.
All right,
that's fine.
And of course, if you want to, I guess, listen to more of my stuff, twitter.com/Steehnmachine, twitter.com/RollWithMachine for just purely sports betting. You don't have to watch me talk about politics or K-State football or any stuff. If you just want to get my gambling picks over there. Twitch.tv/Steehnmachine, patreon.com/OpenDisaster. If you want to get this a day earlier, get this on Wednesday so you don't have to wait until Sunday at 11:30,
You're not getting this on Wednesday.
Did I say Wednesday?
You did.
Oh, sorry. You would get this on Saturday, not Wednesday. But either way, is better than Sunday at 11:45 a.m.
Unless you're Mr. Peabody in the Wayback Machine, you're not getting it on Wednesday, but you would get it on Saturday. So there you go.
Yep. But
all right, buddy.
I appreciate it, Scott. I appreciate you. Thanks again.
Of course.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys back at the window. Right? What is that? What you always say? Say it with your charm. You got a certain charm. You got a certain cadence to it. That's why everybody's here to hear you say it.
Well, you got 10 games. Let's make great bets. Go out there and have a little fun. And at the end of the weekend, pick up our winning tickets and head back to the window.
There it is. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Enough of this nonsense.